See, this Galamsey thing is a major problem for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody who cares about this country and cares about the future of this country should be worried about the way we are destroying our water bodies, we are destroying the vegetation and everything. I have always maintained that God in his own wisdom decided to bless us with a natural resource. We didn't beg for it. We didn't do anything. He decided to put it under the earth crust for our good. The Bible says God created everything. The last thing he created is a human being. I said, I've given you dominion and control over all the creation. Go and live, enjoy it, supervise it, and maintain it. And so I am surprised why that which God has given to us free of charge, that we should use to better our lot, we should use to develop ourselves, has become a nemesis, has become a challenge and a problem for us. And I sincerely want to even resist the temptation of being drawn into the NDC and BB banter on this particular subject. I tell people every day that the best time to communicate as a communicator of a political party is when you're in opposition. You don't need to think too much about anything. And so what my brother is doing, I'm not surprised. We need to face this problem. Ghana is not the only country on the planet Earth that has gold. Several nations are mining gold. How are they going about it that they are not experiencing the kind of devastation that we are experiencing? For me, I say go and copy. Go and copy and come and implement. You don't need to turn the wheel. You don't need to do anything new. All of us have traveled at least to South Africa before. We have gone to Johannesburg. They do mining over there. I am not for one suggesting that they also don't have their version of Galamsey. Mm-hmm. They do. But the extent to which ours have gotten to, I know that those countries are there. If you go to Australia, they also do mining. And not many people know that Algeria here in Ghana, Africa, they do a lot of mining. But their mining is centralized, purely in the hands of the government. Private people are not allowed in there. And so it is well controlled, it's well managed, and people are benefiting from it. Now, little knowledge in this mining. Gold is on a belt, on a rock. So when you come into this studio, are you listening to me?
I'm listening to you.
So this could be the gold belt, like this table that is in front of us. If you don't do research to know exactly where the rock is, let me put it that way, or the gold belt is, and then they just give you a concession, this room, to come and mine gold. When you come, all you start doing what? Start digging everywhere, trying to locate where the belt is. And that is our major problem. If we can invest more in research, that there's data that shows that when you are given a concession, you enter that concession, just go to this particular spot, right? They've given the exact spot, go and dig there. The next thing people would then do is that they can easily create a dam by the belt, get underground water, they mine their gold, they wash it in the dam, they pour chemicals to, therefore like filtration, all the mercury and cyanide that they might have used, they clean it before the water goes into underground. So you don't necessarily have to go and depend on a river or go and wash in a river. But the problem we seem to have right now is that because people are not too sure of where the gold is, they move in there with their machines and they're just digging everywhere. Digging. So where do you put the pond? Where do you get underground water? And so for me, one of the things we need to do is to invest more in research so that when you are given a concession, you are able to tell at the exact point where they must dig. The thing must be in 3 layers. You have a group that is digging. You have another group that is following, doing land reclamation immediately. Then you have a third group that is following, doing afforestation. Do you understand? So as they are digging, those who are doing the land reclamation are following, and those who are doing tree planting, afforestation are also following. The same equipment that we are using for the digging, use the same equipment to do the land reclamation, and then get another group of people with the seedlings who are planted. If we're able to follow this process, I believe that this thing we can minimize it. Galamsey, we are told, mining has been with us only God knows how long. It is not for nothing we're giving the name Gold Coast. That those who even came here in the 15th and the 40s all knew that we have gold in this country. And those who are talking about alluvial gold, when they go to all these rivers, they just, by the river banks, they're able to pick gold. When it's rain, they're able to see a piece of gold and they pick from that place. So we have always known, and our grandfathers have always been involved in these activities. The problem started when these earth-moving equipments were introduced into the sector, and these chamfines were introduced. Those days, the boys only use their shovels and pickers and go and dig their small peas, something they can survive on. And we didn't see the level of devastation that we are seeing today. But with the introduction of these machines, and especially foreigners into our forests, is what is creating the problem for us. And so we should be able to resolve it. Anybody who tells you that we should stop mining where we are now as a country is like telling you, fold up your economy. But whether we like it or not, gold is contributing hugely to this economy. It is contributing hugely to the economy. So we cannot say leave the gold underground and do what? How do you run the economy? The oil that we have today, all the agreements that we have signed, people bring their money, come into exploration, and then they get their oil, and then we get some 10%, and then some 3.5 royalties. The rest goes to them. So even though we are producing oil in this country, the money doesn't stay in our economy. All the huge mining companies, we have signed agreements with them that when they mine, they can repatriate their money into their country. In some cases, 100% repatriation. And so they take everything out of the country. So really and truly, the only benefit, money that we get from this sector, is the one that is coming from the small-scale mining. And so we cannot say that because it's giving us money, it is sustaining our economy without looking at the adverse effects it's having on us as a people. From the medical reports we have seen so far, all the mining areas, go and check the type of children they are giving birth to today. The effects having on pregnant women and then babies that are born. So we need to be able to do the analysis, the health implication, vis-a-vis the money we are getting today. If we do the analysis, then we can convince ourselves that must we continue with this practice or must we halt it fully? Because if you are going to do this today, look at all our water bodies. And I read a document, I think, within this week, about the amount of money already we are spending to import water into this country. It is scary. The amount of money we are spending today as we speak in importing bottled water into Ghana. We are told that some of the water processing plants somewhere in the central region has been closed down. And so as we speak now, all of us are moving in and then we are digging boreholes. Now if you dig the boreholes water that we are producing, often we don't even treat it. We fetch it directly and we are using it. So even though there are chemicals in the water or not, we are unable to tell. And so it is something we need to look at quite dispassionately, take all the partisan politics and emotion out of it, and let's find a lasting solution to the problem. Let's find a lasting solution. I agree that, as I said, my brother can say whatever I want to say. Declaring a state of emergency. Before, when we were in opposition, I had several people from NDC who said it's the way to go. I had civil society organization who said same. I think the Catholic Bishops Conference, several people said things like that. The only person I didn't hear say declare state of emergency immediately was then John Dramani Mahama. He came into office, not as though the government is sleeping or government is not doing anything about this Galamsey issue. Evidence is there that so much has been done. Question is, are we getting the results we are looking for? Is the argument we can have, the debate we can have? Is this something we can stop overnight? Because you cannot halt a system you have created over several decades overnight. You cannot. Now, we make the argument that majority of the people who are operating in this sector is because they don't have anything to do. Is that really the case? Because we have seen videos on social media where people are willing and ready to cut down their cocoa trees. That's supposed to be an economic activity. That's supposed to be an income-generating activity. And yet, they are willing and ready to cut it down and give the land out for mining. Because look at the cost of gold today, even in the international market. It is quite an lucrative venture. People want to go into it. And so somebody will sit back and say, if I have to go and drive a trotro for a whole year and I cannot even save 1,000 Ghana cedis, and within a day or two, I can make save from this venture, why don't I go into it? And I've read a recent document that is pointing to the fact that majority of the young men and even ladies you see in these Galamsey activities, are persons who have one form of skill or the other. The person is either a carpenter, is either a mason, is either a driver. They have some skills. And so it's not enough for us to say, okay, it is because they don't have any job to do. Let's bring them out. Let's give them some skills. And once we do, they will not go back to that particular enterprise. No, it goes beyond that. It's about the economic viability, the profitability of that venture. And so it is something we need to look at holistically and see how we can find a solution to it. We have tried several things in the past, including sending the military there. We gave them different names, go and do different things. I've heard recently people are saying, you know what, the only way out, let's go and do shoot and kill. Let the military go in there today and shoot one person or two people. We will come back on a set like this and come and complain. Human rights, why are we killing people? We will do all those things. Once you declare a state of emergency, what you have done is that you have put the place on a red alert. The military you deploy to the place, the place now become a security zone. Nobody must enter there. If anybody ventures and he loses his life, that's the fellow's own business. Is that something we want to do at this point? Are we ready? The measures that have been put in place by the sector minister, are they yielding positive results? From where I sit, I think that if we sustain it, if we do it deliberately, we will get the same result without necessarily. We have been told about a number of forests that were taken over by these Galamsey operators. And within this short space of time, how government has been able to move in with the security services, and then we have reclaimed some of the forests back.
Okay.
And so, Moro, I empathize, I sympathize with everybody who is frustrated by this and who is talking about this, who would have wished that today, the president should declare a state of emergency, and that then becomes the final solution to the problem. And once that declaration is made, small scale is ceased, Galamsey is halted completely. I don't know what then will become of the bigger mining companies. I don't know what will become of it. And so let's try and find a solution. The effect as of now is dire. It's not something we can play with.